Hello again, I'm Kara Palmer, and I will be talking in this presentation about the evidence supporting CHAMP. If we're going to be spending all this time and all this energy implementing this program, what evidence is out there to support that this program works and that this program improves health outcomes in young children? We will address those questions in our presentation today, talking about, does CHAMP really work? Well, I can tell you, as somebody who's worked with the CHAMP program for over a decade, we have to really be critical in how we evaluate CHAMP. We have to really think about the effectiveness of this program and what kind of outcomes does it improve? Moving from left to right on the bottom, does it improve motor skills in young children, perceived motor competence in young children, fitness, physical activity, weight, and or behavioral factors in young children? What does the literature say about this program? So first, does CHAMP improve children's motor skills? Absolutely yes. For over a decade, we have seen time and time again that children who engage in CHAMP learn motor skills. The literature is very mixed on if children who do not engage in CHAMP do or do not gain skills. But what's very clear is that children across the program learn skills. That children who end CHAMP program are always more skilled than their peers who didn't engage in the CHAMP program. So even at the end of some of our shorter interventions, our 5 or 6 week interventions, we see really big gains in motor skill competence in children who complete CHAMP. What's also really encouraging is that we see equal gains for boys and girls. So we know that girls lag behind in motor skills compared to boys, even as early as age 3. But we see that the CHAMP program provides opportunity for both boys and girls to equitably learn these skills. We also have some research that looks at, after CHAMP is over, what happens to skills? Like after children quit engaging in the program every day, do they have a big loss in skills? Do they regress back? And it is true that while children who stop engaging in CHAMP every day do score a little bit lower on motor assessments, they still have really large gains overall. And they're still more skilled than their peers who didn't engage in CHAMP. And so this program is very effective for improving children's motor skills. We have seen it time and time again. Does CHAMP improve perceived competence? So how children think about how they move? Yes. Children who engage in CHAMP have higher perceived motor competence at the end of the program compared to the beginning of the program, as well as they have higher perceived competence than children who don't engage in the program at all. And so this mastery motivational climate that we're going to create, this autonomy-based approach to instruction of skills, and this opportunity to engage in a structured movement program, something about CHAMP is not only improving how children move, but it improves how children think they move. I forgot to mention on the previous slide, but please note at the bottom we have an icon that looks like a little book. And this means that we're going to link the scientific articles that support the outcomes of CHAMP on the Canvas page. And so you can feel free to go to the Canvas page and read the scientific articles on CHAMP and motor skills or CHAMP and perceived motor competence. Great, so what about physical activity? What does the data say about how CHAMP improves physical activity? And actually, here we have a slightly different answer. We think it does. We have some good evidence that supports that children in CHAMP are just as active as children on the playground, and that children's activity levels increase across the program. So children become more active in CHAMP the longer they're in CHAMP. What's really also exciting about some of this physical activity data is that we are working on gathering long-term data to support if engagement in CHAMP improves physical activity long-term. But we do know these other really positive things. It is really important to note that children are just as active in CHAMP as they are in recess, because often recess is the only other physical activity environment given to children in a school day. And so it's a really good benchmark for making sure that the CHAMP program is effective in providing children opportunity to engage in physical activity. If you remember back to the Trajectories of Health lecture as well, we know that this point in early childhood is when physical activity is feeding into those motor skills. But a little bit later in life is when we're gonna see those motor skills feeding into physical activity. And so we need some more of that long-term data that to show if the changes of motor skills elicited in CHAMP also change children's physical activity. We think this is the case, and we are working on collecting that long-term data as we speak. Does CHAMP improve self-regulation? So self-regulation is a very important construct in early childhood. This is a child's ability to inhibit a socially undesirable but more innate response, and inhibit that response and then replace it with a more socially desirable or a more socially desirable response. It's what keeps us from taking one marshmallow now when we could have 2 marshmallows later. Or it's what helps us when somebody cuts us off when we're driving. It's what helps us take a deep breath and continue on without losing our minds. Self-regulation is an incredibly important construct in early childhood. It's been linked to a lot of early academic and classroom experiences in these children. And so there's a need for interventions that improve this outcome in young children. And what's really cool about the CHAMP program is it's one of the only motor skill interventions that shows that benefits for children's behavioral self-regulation. So how well they can inhibit some sort of behavior and replace it with the more socially desired behavior. We also have evidence that CHAMP improves children's sustained attention. And so children, after engaging in the CHAMP program, are able to have better sustained attention than not after they don't engage in the CHAMP program. And these are really encouraging. These are showing that this movement environment not only is having positive impacts on children's movement outcomes, but on some cognitive and behavioral outcomes as well, supporting the need for CHAMP and supporting the use of CHAMP in early elementary school settings. So in conclusion, does CHAMP work? Yes. CHAMP is one of the most well-established programs for improving children's motor skills. We know this program has many benefits. We continue to research the program to fully understand the breadth and depth of the benefits of CHAMP. So this is a very well-established program. There is a lot of science backing up the implementation of this program, and we are very excited to have you guys implement this effective program in an after-school setting. Because CHAMP is so beneficial, one of the big current drawbacks of CHAMP is it's always been implemented by a member of the research team. And we really need the program to be implemented by people not with the research team. We need to partner with after-school programs and partner with preschools and help provide training that gets people like you to implement the program. So we are thrilled that you are going to help us with this. And we really think that through this process, we can improve the health and the lives of children. And we're excited to get started.